So I talked to several economists today from all different universities, from Case Western Reserve University all the way to OSU, and this is simply based on economics, not political ideology. And they all say the same thing. When you raise tariffs, the prices get passed to the consumer. And we actually saw this the last time Trump was president, specifically with washing machines and steel to start. And by the end of his presidency, he had tariffs as high as 19% on China. Also important to note here, President Biden didn't dismantle the tariffs from the Trump administration. They are still in place.
So it's sort of a short-term burst of excitement for U.S. companies who say, hey, we can compete a lot better against foreign companies if we don't have to pay these tariffs, and they do. And if we get tax breaks, that's even better for us. But long-term, we have to pay for all those things, and a lot of it comes back on the consumer.
Now, here's the deal with the tariffs. They may very well push the U.S. to buy more, or push us, to buy more United States goods, which they did in Trump's first administration. We didn't import as many Chinese goods, but this could also start a trade war if other countries decide to retaliate and put their own tariffs on goods. And that cost would be passed on to the consumer and could drive up inflation. It did in the past. Now, one of Trump's reasons for the tariffs is to bring back more manufacturing jobs to the United States, but this didn't prove to be true in his first term.
As it was a wash. We gained a few jobs and we lost jobs, and on balance, there was no net gain or no net loss in jobs. You know, the number of people who actually work in manufacturing has declined significantly in the post-war period, so that only a very small proportion of the American workforce is actually employed in manufacturing. Most of us work in the service sector.
So historically, President Trump does feel we have a trade deficit and tariffs are his power strategy, while trade economists agree targeted tariffs like ones on electric vehicles were beneficial because we were trying to develop that technology here in the United States. But they say broad tariffs are not a good idea because they say it ultimately reduces global trade. And then, of course, inflation increases. Cassie Arsenal, Local 12 News. Local 12 has more consumer stories just like this. Don't forget to click the links and press subscribe.